So I haven't been on in a while, and I've been wanting to come on for quite some time. And I guess I wouldn't say that the reason I'm coming on is the intentions are right, but maybe the force behind what kind of pushed me to get on today for in the midst is one that um, I probably don't wholeheartedly agree with. So what bothers me is that we live in a world that is fickle, full of evil, full of foolishness, full of, insidiousness, full of infidelity, evil, you name it. It's also full of goodness and grace and mercy and kindness and love. And when I'm saying those words, I'm speaking in the sense that those are things that we choose daily to put into action. Today, I ended up on here because I know that there are people who genuinely wake up every day to destroy the lives of others, to make other folks' lives miserable, to justify their reasoning for being horrid and just vindictive and downright trifling. And one thing I had to come to the reality, or the reality that I had to come to, was that there are children of perdition that live on this earth. The first time I encountered a young lady as an educator back in 2015, 16, that was the first time I ever heard someone actually say that they get up every day to make other people's lives miserable. Now, this young lady was wanting for nothing. Her father was in the military. Her mother was a nurse. She was an only child. She was on the cheerleading team. She was very popular in school. But she was also lonely. Her father lived in another state. Her mother was a full-time nurse, which means she worked 12-hour shifts. Okay. And that's how she was able to afford a lot of the things she had. She had a car, she had, it was crazy. But when I heard her, when I would see her behave kind of crazy with some of the students, it kind of bothered me. And I one day pulled her to the side and said something to her about it. And when she said out of her mouth to me that she woke up every day to make the other students' lives miserable, I was in shock, because I'd heard that she did things, and I'd kind of literally seen it in class a couple of times, but I just thought, she just being a kid. No. There are people on this earth, and it's no, there's this cliche, misery loves company. This is not about misery wanting any company. These people are just evil. And they didn't just start existing, they have existed. Again, the children of perdition. But what bothers me most about these type of people is when they hit close to home. Recently, and this you have to get down on your knees. I had to get down on my knees. I have to get down on my knees. I have to stay grounded in God in order for me to keep from erupting. Okay? Because I can go from zero to prison in 2 seconds, literally. So it bothered me that this not the young lady, I gave her as an example, but in my own personal life, there is a vehement, evil, unscrupulous woman. Okay. African American. You would think that as an elder, you would be trying to guide me in the right way. Or even if you didn't agree, okay, well, maybe you need to do it this way. Not this woman. She loves drudging up the past. She loves trying to make me look as bad as she can on any given day. And the sad part about it is this woman is one of my children's father's mother. Okay. I try real hard to refrain to even I try to act as if she doesn't even exist, because in the world in which I live she doesn't, until she says and or does something or sends some message, some underlying message, or she's trying to manipulate a situation. Now, keep in mind, this woman has attempted as often as I can remember, which is why I kept my child away from them. She has always attempted to manipulate situations into what she wanted them to. And I know I'm not the only one that's going through that. I've seen it. I had a conversation the other day with someone, and I just had to tell them, look, don't do that. Don't do that. Now I can cut the food and cut the book and all those things, but I am really doing my best to hold up the light. Okay, hold up the light, all ye heaven-bound soldiers. I'm trying to hold up the light. And when I tell you that as I am attempting to hold up the light, every evil, well, that's my life story, every evil that could possibly exist has attempted to enter in some shape, form, or fashion. But this particular individual is insistent, consistent, and just benign, just there, like a tumor. And I would be happy at one point if it just would just go away. But every time I turn around, it pops up. The things that it says and does. See, because what I got to do, what I'm going to have to do, and what we all have to do, we have got to stop looking at these people. Listen to me when I tell you. You have got to stop looking at them as if it is them. You have to look at the spirit that is behind it. And I don't have to wonder, because this it that I am talking about on many occasions has made the statement, stop teaching my grandchild that old fake Jesus. Shh. Duh. Then because I try real hard to walk in the light and trust in the Lord, she even tries to use that as a means to draw me out in some shape, form, or fashion. As if I don't know that as a human, I am imperfect in all my ways, right? When you find a man that hadn't sinned, let me know, because according to scripture, there is not a man on this earth that hadn't sinned. We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. I cannot keep telling people that enough. Then he says, should we continue in our sin? Yeah, no, we should not. We need to find another way. Okay? We want to overcome this. How does this come? By fasting and praying. When he drove out the demons, he said the way that you get past this is by fasting and praying. The fact that every time I encounter this I got to fast and pray. I try to keep them out of my mind. I have to keep my mind stayed on thee. so that I can have perfect peace. Because if it could take my peace away, it would. I wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and darknesses in high places. I am contending not with what I see before me. I am contending with the enemy. This individual is just a vessel that's allowing the enemy to make use of them. And I believe at some point we all have done that, including myself. I can't go back and take back all the things that I have done wrong, all the misguidance I've given to my children, but I can ask them, as I have done many times, for their forgiveness. I could ask her, but then my thing is, I've done nothing to you for me to ask you for forgiveness other than have a child by your son. I was not the initiator of that relationship. I was not the one who came back years later and initiated again, despite what this individual has said. So I'm quite puzzled as to how your son's bad decisions and irresponsibility all of a sudden became my fault. You're confused. It is confused. Satan is confused. Okay? This is what I will say. I am glad that neither of them are in my life. I have been one who has attempted to maintain relationships and made sure that my children maintain relationships with their fathers. I'm not ashamed to say their fathers. Again, I've made many mistakes. But what I will not do is allow the enemy to continue to not only throw the past at me, and let me tell you how terrible the devil is. He takes my past, and I'm speaking of him through her, and throws my past at my child, creating all sorts of mental distress and issues for them. I've never seen anything like it. Every chance this demon gets, it attempts to drudge up anything. But through all of this, no responsibility on their part, the it or the it spawn. Okay? Just a lot of pain, heartache, evilness. That's all that ever comes from that direction. That's it. As much pain as you can bring me and the child, that's what you do. As much heartache as you can bring to me and the child, that's what you do. I'm not going to blame anything on anybody, because just like that person made decisions, I made bad decisions as well. And the bad decision was ever getting involved with someone first who did not even have an inkling of an idea of who God was. Okay? When you have someone, and unfortunately, let me explain. I did not find out until later. It was after the fact, but that's our fault. So I'm going to put this out there for you young ladies. Be careful who you have your children by. Get to know the person. I mean, really know them. And let me just say this, because I've said it many, many times as an educator. I've seen even people that have been married 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and they still don't know each other. So to think that you can be with someone for a year or 2 years or 5 years, and you, that's why they tell these people in these books that they write, you good after your 5th year of marriage. I would say not. I would say that at no point in time do you ever know a person. People are going to disappoint you. People are going to bring you hurt and pain. But I've never seen anything to the point where people purposely try to make your life miserable. Okay. Now, I'm not a perfect parent, but I ain't never left my children. They have been with me. When they needed something, I was there. When they were in programs, I supported them. In the midst of them being in these sports, I'm there. Driving them to and from school, I'm there. Putting a roof over their head, providing the food, whatever. Every now and again saying, I love you, I care about you. I do it a little bit. It wasn't bred in me, so I'm not making excuses. I just try to do better every day. Every day, try to do better. But I am behooved that I have created a child with a man who has a mother who, one, does not believe in God or Christ Jesus. And two, every waking minute, every word, everything that comes out of her mouth is for the ruination of not only me, but the child. Now, your children can be mad at you about whatever. But one thing I don't do, I don't lie to my children. My children know my past. My children know my right now. My children are my children. You talk to your children, you explain to your children, you apologize to your children, you ask your children for forgiveness. But the fact that it really thinks that the best thing, obviously, for her to do on a daily basis, whenever she gets an opportunity, it gets an opportunity to bring harm, pain, and heartache in my life or the child's life, is just beyond me. And you older women, you wonder why these young women don't look up to you. It's because it doesn't take but that one moment for a woman like that to enter into their lives. And it's a done deal. They have no respect for older women, because it only takes but one or two of them to keep doing that same thing, because it's a bunch of y'all out there like that. It don't take but one or two, and then it's hard for those of us that are really trying to, in some shape, form, or fashion, make it to heaven. And someone like that be what we are contending with on a daily basis. I'm just saying.